We're Laura and Brian, also known as a couple of Quinns. We love our city of Dayton, old houses, and dogs. Recently, we purchased a 1905 Federal-style fixer-upper, and we've been renovating it during the pandemic.
We're now 1 week
And one video
away from opening our home for a tour. Our time crunch continues as we finish up the shower tile and start wrapping up some other small details in the bathroom. Things are really starting to come together. We're at the tile shop. We're looking at tile for a kitchen backsplash, and this is one of the options that I really liked online. I've used this tile before in a client's design project, and it just has a really classic look, and I love that it has green accent tones. So the stove, we haven't shown you that yet, but the stove in the house is going to be green and brass. So I think incorporating a little bit more green might be the way to go. So out of these, we're leaning towards, we really like this one, and we like this one, I think, the smaller, I guess you can still call that subway tile. Yeah. Be a little too busy, I don't know. Busy doesn't bother me. The more the better.
I like this like basket weave thing, but just not for this spot.
I'm with you. That could be real pretty on the basement bathroom floor too.
Oh yeah.
You want the purple, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Look how beautiful this is.
I always want the purple.
That has a lot more movement in it though compared to the green. I do worry it'd be too much going on.
Freaking cool, man.
I kind of like this one too. It's like oblong.
Just love the purple.
Well, here's a little one over here.
Oh yeah.
We just popped into this place called Home to Home. It's right next door to the tile shop. I love stopping in here from time to time because you never know what you're going to find. And we just found a treasure. So this piece of furniture meets all the criteria for a piece we've been looking for. We've been wanting a round dining table with an extender, and it's by Baker Furniture. If you don't know anything about Baker, they are an extremely fine furniture manufacturer located here in the United States. Make beautiful pieces, and this one's no exception. So there is a little bit of damage on the tabletop, but the price is right, so I think it's worth the risk of taking it home and seeing if we can fix it up. And then this is the extension.
Actually, we've been documenting the whole thing, and we have it on YouTube if you're at all interested.
I will look forward to it.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Couple of Quinns, are you?
Yeah.
Let's get down to brass tacks. How much for the dog?
So now we're using Pete's leash to secure it. You gotta do what you can, folks. When you find a treasure, you just gotta make it work.
All right. Now it's not going anywhere.
All right. Now we just drive slow and steady home.
Yeah. What a cutie, right? Oh.
All right. Everybody's in. Table in.
Sure is.
Let's hope we make it.
What you doing today, baby?
What are we not doing today? Well, first things first, we gotta look at the backsplash tile.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be fun. And then I'm gonna mayonnaise the table, which you'll find out more about that. And then we're gonna grout.
Mayonnaise the table.
We went to the tile shop and picked up a couple samples for backsplash ideas. And I think we've got it narrowed down to 2. We've started with a lot of options and we've kind of narrowed it down to these, so feeling good about that. Yeah. Both of them are marble. Both of them are kind of a subway pattern, but they're different colors. So we have one green, one purple. My favorite color versus Brian's favorite color. Man, both of them they're both gorgeous. I don't think there's a wrong choice.
I feel like we need to compare them apples to apples here and take this guy out of the
Okay, yeah, I'm with you. Let's end up.
There we go.
Okay, so here's my thoughts on the tile. They're both awesome. I love the purple. I think it's super cool. However, it's a lot busier than the green. The green's a lot more uniform in color and texture, like pattern of the tiles. This has a lot more movement and lines. I'm leaning towards the green. I also think it'll be, from a color perspective, it'll be a little bit more uniform with what we're doing with the stove and some of the other accent colors. However, I think we should try to do the purple somewhere else in the house because I do love this tile. It's beautiful and super cool.
She's scared that the purple's going to be a little bit too much. We already have checkerboard floor.
And I'm not a minimalist by any means. I'm usually like the more the better, but
we're kind of maximalist.
Yeah, I also don't want it to look like Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse.
If you know which one you'd go with, let us know in the comments. Well, we definitely made it home with the table. And it looks great.
Yeah, I think it looks beautiful. So, sadly, there is some water damage, which we knew when we purchased this that it was going to be a risk whether or not we could repair the top. As is, it's not horrible. I mean, it's not perfect, but with the tablecloth on, I mean, you'd never see it. And for the price, it was still well worth it. So what I'm going to do, I've been reading online about how to get water spots out of a table. And what I've learned is that the damage is only as deep as the finish. If the spots are light colored, that means the moisture got trapped within the surface of the top coat, so probably within like the polyurethane or whatever this is. If it's a dark spot, that means the damage soaked all the way through the finish and actually into the wood. So that's good news. We know that it's, near the top surface of the table. The other thing I've been reading is that mayonnaise does the trick. So that's what we're gonna try today. We've never tried this before. Let's see how it does. now we'll just wait and wash my hands. Oh.
What's going on?
I'm just looking at this and feeling tired. No, I'm looking at this and feeling excited. In our last episode, we didn't show off the tile too much. We kind of left it as like a teaser. So here you can finally see it. I think it looks good. Honestly, this tile was easier to install than I thought. However, and I've already told my brother this, I give John all the credit because he was the one that did the cement board underneath. And if that wasn't level, this tile would have been a nightmare. I'm very happy with how it turned out. There's a couple things I would have done differently. Like I think we should have done the side walls first and then done the back wall last. Had we done it that way, we probably could have gotten away with not cutting these little itty bitty pieces. And also if I had used a slightly thicker spacer, then it probably would have looked a little bit better. But no complaints overall. I think it looks great. So today we're going to work on grouting and finishing up the boxes here. The recessed boxes still need tile, and then next will be the floor. I don't think we're going to get to the floor today though. One thing I wanted to show you, little sneak peek. This is the wallpaper for the bathroom. I am so excited. It's gonna be like a crazy colorful jungle in here, and I'm really pumped about it. People that like white subway tile, you're probably gonna hate this bathroom because it's gonna be like color all over the place. So in case you're wondering what this lower box is for, it's so that I have a place to put my foot when I'm shaving. So women out there, you'll probably appreciate this. I've never seen this done before, but I can't understand why, because anytime you're in the shower, it makes so much sense to have a place to be able to prop up your leg. It's also extra storage, so we'll see how it turns out. It's all these little details that make the difference.
Prepping the surface first. Cleaning everything off, making.
I actually read the directions.
Ooh, girl, look at you.
I know. It says wet the tile down. And I know, at least I feel like last time I did not do this, and it made wiping the grout off the surface more difficult. And this tile is already going to be a pain in the butt because it's textured. This gold pattern is actually raised. So this is not going to be an easy grout job. Getting ready to mix the grout. Have the bag of grout. Got my buckets down here ready to go. So one full bag of this takes 1 quart of water. There's 2 pints in 1 quart. I don't have any measuring devices, but thankfully I got a beer pint. All right, just gonna kind of test it a little bit. I'm gonna try to get it as much as I can just directly into the crack and avoid just smearing it all over.
Yeah, definitely.
If I can. I'm trying to just get a small amount on the float, but it's kind of hard. The spacing is probably a little bit thinner than average, but I don't like a lot of grout, so that's why I did it that way. See, I think that just helps push it down into that crack. And then it also helps create a smooth surface. It's gonna need a lot of wiping down to get it out of all these little grooves. I hope you can see how much brighter it is down here.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep wiping it as many times as it takes to get it all cleaned. I wanted the grout line to kind of blend in with the background color. Obviously, if it were like a white grout, that would just make it way too busy, even for me. The side walls will have a white grout, so that again, it just blends in with the background color. I think sometimes you can use a colored grout, especially if you want it to, I don't know, be a focal point or kind of enhance the tile that you're using. But this tile is the focus.
This tile needs no enhancing.
Yeah, we don't need the grout standing out.
Hubba hubba.
And I'm not even in there yet.
Oh, wow.
It smells like mayonnaise in here, and it's kind of making me feel gross. So it's been sitting on the table for probably at least an hour at this point. We grouted one of the shower walls, and it's been sitting on here that whole time. So now I'm gonna kind of buff it off, and we'll see what it looks like. So it looks like as I'm wiping it off, I do see some of the spots reappearing. So I don't know if we should try a second coat. Or maybe try a different product. I see some of them. Like, it looks better than it did. But I think, like you said, I think it's just because it's still greasy. I think once it dries out, the spots are gonna come back.
Oh, there's one.
Mm-hmm. And it all depends on what light you look at it.
So it didn't quite work, but it almost does seem a little better. But all in all, this just seems like it's a table covered in mayonnaise. Do you have any other tricks up your sleeve?
That's what Google's for. This says leave the mayonnaise overnight. So maybe we just, before we leave, maybe we should try putting more on and just letting it sit. So then that kind of makes sense. So it needs more time to really penetrate down in there.
Maybe. Well, if you have a idea that should work better than mayonnaise, let us know in the comments. What are we working on today, baby?
Oh, more tile work. I feel like this is the worst example of me doing tile that we've captured. You probably shouldn't just be smearing it on with your gloves, but we're putting these little pieces in place. Then I'm going to grout this wall while Brian works on cutting all the pieces for inside. So this will all get cleaned up, and I don't want to get the trowel dirty, so I'm being lazy. So far it seems to be working.
I've been cutting these pieces to fit in here. This is just like the edge pieces here. It just cleans up the edge of the tile. So you have a nice finished edge.
Yeah, I also think it creates a nice visual break between the two tile styles. So inside the box, we're going to go back to the black and gold. So having this solid black border, I think, will be a nice dividing line.
Yeah. You hanging out with Mama while she does all the tiling?
You look so sad.
Yeah, it's looking good. Yesterday we had a real issue with the travertine pieces. It's that yellow bit between the black and the white marbles. And all of this grout sticks to that travertine really well. So we had to individually scrape every travertine bit.
I hope you're ready to do that again.
Yep. Gonna have to. So I don't know exactly what I'm doing wrong, but this is my second time soldering this piece together. It's a brass fitting that fits over top of your copper piping. And everything that I've read online says that you can solder brass to copper just fine. But I've tried it twice now, and it's just not sealing right. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm basically just going to try again. At least at night I can see this a little better. Kind of doesn't look like the solder is coating this copper and coating the inside of that. I'm not sure why it's not doing that. I had flux through the solder in there, and it just didn't do anything, just didn't work. This is the messiest solder job I've ever done, guaranteed, but I'm just so sick of doing it. I just really laid it on there. So let's hope it sticks. So here's the spot where we're actually putting it, and I actually am using push fittings. So I just soldered on this short nub essentially so that I could push it in, because the brass bit is actually wider, meant to slide over, so it wouldn't fit inside the push fit piece. So I had to actually solder that on, but really push it down in there, and it feels like it's in there. I'm gonna just prop this up with a shim. Now I'm gonna go turn on the water, and let's hope it actually sealed. Apparently I made a rookie mistake, and I left this valve on, and so it sprayed out the top. But
I was
right.
here to save the day.
She was here. But so far, it doesn't look like it's coming out the solder joint. Oh! No, there's a bubbly spot. Well, at this point, I'm getting ultra frustrated.
I know. And we gotta clean the cottage tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah, unless you want to do it tomorrow morning while I have my team meeting, and then we gotta get our shots in the afternoon. So it's tonight or tomorrow morning.
I thought we had until
No, because they scheduled that other day.
Wednesday.
They added on another day to their stay, so they're checking in tomorrow instead of Wednesday. The joys
Joys of Airbnb ownership. Well, third time was not the charm with soldering, so I'm giving up on this for now. And I'm hoping John can show me what I'm doing wrong, or I don't know, maybe the internet, maybe Google can tell me.
Petey, why does it look like there's lick marks all over the mayonnaise table?
What?
Huh, Pete?
Oh.
Look at this. And it's only on the edge where the banquette is, all the way around.